Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching us how to identify different chart patterns, the MW, head and shoulder, ascending and descending wedge, and every other pattern. So stay tuned with me as I jump right into the chart and show you how to identify them. Thank you. Alright, so let's start with the M pattern. Okay, in Forest we have what we call the M pattern, and this is how it is. This is the M pattern. It simply means that when the market goes up and tests a zone, it supports a resistance zone, returns back, get back to that zone and drops. Okay, that's simply the M pattern. So when you want to take your trade, you take your trade from here, from this side, and then close around here. Or some people will do it like this: they take after the break of the neckline, take their stop loss, and then close just 1:1. Okay, then in the other way around we have what we call the W pattern. It's just the inverse of the M. The inverse of the M. Still the same thing applicable. All here is the support line. So when the market comes down, hit this zone, comes up, hit back again, you can take your trade from here, and then take your profit from here. Or after the break of the neckline, this is what we call the neckline. This zone here is the neckline. This zone here is what we call the neckline. Once the market breaks the neckline, some people take their stop loss here, then take a trade. Then target 1:1, 1:2. Okay, so that's for the M and W. Now I have what we call the continuous patterns, so or the bullish pattern. This is it. Now in this case, it is called impulse correction impulse. Now in this case, the market might come up. The market will come up, then consolidate for some time, and then after consolidation, it will break and then start going up. So most times people take their trade from here, then measure the stop loss here, and target 1:1 or 1:2 ratio. Or most times they take their trade from here with a very tight stop loss and then measure 1:4, 5 as the case may be. So it happens. There are different types of taking trades. Okay, so we'll move straight to this one. Is called the bullish continuous pattern. Then we have the bearish continuous pattern as well. This is the bearish continuous pattern. Impulse coming from the upside to the downside, then consolidates, and then impulse to the downside. It's still the same thing. Impulse from the upside to the downside, then consolidate for some time, and then impulse again to the downside. So sometimes people take their trade from here and measure 1:3 or 1:4, or they will take their trade after the break of the consolidation pattern, then put their stop loss here and measure 1:1 or 1:2. Okay, all right. So the next pattern we have is the ascending wedge and descending wedge. Now in the case of ascending wedge, this is how it is. Impulse from the downside and it start ascending, and then it drops. Now in this case, you find out that this is your correction pattern. The impulse is coming from the downside, the correction is going towards the upside, the next move is going down. So most time people take their trade from here after the break of this zone and put their stop loss around here and then targets 1:1 or 1:2. While sometimes some people put their stop loss, take their trade from here, measure a very tight stop loss, and then their risk to reward ratio will be bigger. Okay, now this is what we call the ascending wedge. Now we also have what we call the descending wedge. Impulse coming from the upside, then correction going towards the downside, and then impulse to the upside. Now this is the correction for this case, and then you find that the market is coming from the upside, impulse from the upside, and then the correction is moving towards the downside. The next impulse will be to the upside. So most times people take their trade from this zone after the break of the correction, measure their stop loss here, and then target 1:1 or 1:2. While sometimes they will take their trade around here, measure a very tight stop loss, and then have a very big risk to reward ratio. Okay, so and then we have what we call the head and shoulder patterns. This is the head and shoulder pattern. We have the head and shoulder pattern, we have the inverse head and shoulder pattern. So this is the head and shoulder pattern. This is the first shoulder, the right shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So this is head and shoulder. So this is the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So most time when markets displays this kind of pattern, the next move will be through the downside. Okay, to create the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and then impulse to the downside. The same thing applicable here. The inverse head and shoulder. In this case, the market will impulse down. The market will impulse down, creating a shoulder. Come up here, go back, creating the head, go back, creating the right shoulder, and then impulse the upside. So these are the two different head and shoulder we have. We have the head and shoulder pattern and the inverse head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so this is the basics of chart patterns in forex. Okay, now every other patterns, okay, comes out from this pattern. So if all displayed, the simple thing is just to know where the impulse is coming from and where the correction is going. Once you know where the impulse is coming from and where the correction is going, you can be able to tell the next move. Say the impulse is coming from the upside, correction is going towards the downside, the next move is up. The impulse is coming from the upside, correction is going towards the downside, the next move is up. If impulse is also coming from the downside, correction is towards the upside, the next move is down. So you just to know where the correction is coming from, and then where the impulse is coming from and where the correction is heading towards, so you can be able to tell your next move. Alright, so this is where I'll end it. In my next video I will still show you more that you need to add to your forex trading to be able to maximize profit and minimize loss. Thank you.